All right, folks, we got a very special show. We got a very special guest. Our good friend Matthew Fitzpatrick is in studio in New York. First impressions of the Barstool office.
Mixed reviews.
Okay.
Looks nice and clean, brand new. But I mean, there's some Instagram stories that I saw a couple of things: broken door handle and a rat.
Yeah, let's get to the rat.
You just say a giant fucking rat.
It was a big rat.
Sent people scattering in the lobby.
Yeah, it looked aggressive. I'm not gonna lie.
So you're all nervous. You're like, I'm gonna go to like Barstool tomorrow. Probably be pretty fun. Whatever. You look on Instagram, you just see a giant rat.
Yeah. So
me walking to work today, I had my head on a swivel this morning.
Oh, me too, man.
I mean, I made sure that I was ready for battle if one was gonna pop out of the ceiling or something.
So for everybody who doesn't know, yesterday morning, all of a sudden this video goes out on Twitter from a bunch of our employees that some guy in the lobby while he was waiting for the elevator, a giant rat that looked more like a squirrel just jumped on him.
Yeah.
Just attacked him. Yeah, it wasn't just running on the floor. It just jumped on his person.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. So, it's New York.
That's New York City, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's
If
just
you
what
don't get a close encounter with a rat, did you ever really move here or live here? So,
you didn't.
it's not too bad.
So, the first time and probably the reason that you're here was we're at the PGA Championship. You walk right by us. We're making a little video. We're kind of doing our thing. We're in the mix. And Frankie, right after you walk by, of course, after you're out of earshot, just gives, I think that might be the only guy in the world that I could beat up.
Yeah.
So, what did your buddies tag you in that? Your buddies send that to you? How'd you figure out that?
I think someone sent it to me. And then they were like, "Oh, this guy's calling you out." I was like, "Oh, right, okay." And then I saw it. And then obviously the US Open comes around a few months later, and I was like, "Yeah, you see those guys over there? That guy there, he called me out. He said he could beat me up." And then in which my caddy Billy, he sort of he went and asked for an apology.
Oh yeah, I thought I was getting taken out to the cottage or something. He put his arm around me. He's like, "Let's go for a walk." I'm like, "Oh man, what could this be about?"
Yeah.
And then I saw you at the other end of the range. I'm like, "Oh shit." No, it was good though. I mean, that just goes to show that you're in on the joke, and you know what we do here at Barstool, which is hilarious. Because obviously, number one, I can't beat you up because I'm just a small little twink, and number two, I can't do anything. And number two is just when we're making jokes and stuff like that, instead of taking it the wrong way, you're just laughing it off, and you're getting in the mix, and that's why now you're our boy. That's there's one or two ways to go about that joke, and you just took the better road, which is hilarious.
That's good.
So I got to ask you, why are we here at 9 a.m.?
This is insane.
Why? Yeah.
This is an early interview.
Yeah, this is bad for you guys, isn't it? Yeah. No, I'm playing Bayonne.
It must be nice.
Yeah.
It must be nice.
I gotta get back to the ferry, and then head over. So.
Have you ever played Bayonne before?
I played it a couple times. Yeah, it's
such a great golf course. Yeah,
it's really, really good. So
Bayonne's got. I mean, it's not a big deal for you, but it's got one of the most intimidating first tee shots on the planet.
Yeah,
right
by the pro
first
shot.
hole. I actually can't remember the first hole.
It's it's a little short dogleg left. You can't see the green off the tee, and the first tee is legit a step and a half away from the pro shot.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So fucking everybody that's getting ready to tee off in the next 30 minutes, all the caddies, everybody that arrives is just standing there while you hit. You're like, hey, I suck, so don't.
Don't look. Please
I'm gonna make a quick announcement. I stink, so don't judge me on this.
And it's a classic first tee where you're 2 off the first.
Yeah,
breakfast ball.
Yeah.
And you let that be known that you're gonna hit a bad shot, and everyone's like, okay, yeah, he's gonna take a breakfast ball.
You're announcing don't expect a lot.
But then you roast one, you're like, don't need it.
Yeah. What are you doing in New York? What's the?
Just sort of holiday really. I've got a couple of friends that live here and work here, so I've sort of catch up with them over the week, and then then I'm actually going out to the Hamptons to stay with some other friends and practice out there for a week. So.
Little vacation.
Yep, exactly.
Do you so out there? Where are you practicing out there?
Friars Head.
Friars.
Yeah, I've not been there before though. So
really?
I've heard good things.
So I don't want to brag, but I shot my career low at Friars Head.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
So it's a good story. I was, I'm playing. I was even par coming into 18. I've never shot 72 before, and it's dogleg left. Snap hook one up into the trees.
Yep.
Caddy's like, man, I know you got a good round going. I think you got to hit provisional. I'm like, no problem. Blast one 100 yards right. We're not gonna find it right. He's like, we go up there. My first tee shot was on the left side of the fairway.
No way.
Yep. Just the luckiest shit of all time.
Yes.
Hit one on the green, 2 putt, got out of there.
Oh, that was nice.
So good luck. Hopefully,
Yeah.
no offense. I hope you shoot 73. More than anything.
I'd be the same. Yeah.
No, but Friars is spectacular. So speaking of practice, I gotta ask. like 4 or 5 years ago, I'm playing in the member guest at Brookline at the country club.
Okay.
And you were out there at that same weekend.
Wow. Oh, so you there? Okay.
And you were like practicing around. And, you know, we're all like, ooh, there's Fitzpatrick who won the US Am and all that stuff. And you're chipping around the practice green, doing some practice with your guy, I guess it was your coach or whoever. And you're hitting these chips from like 5 feet off the green. You're pitching, you're hitting it. And your guy was like lasering the flag.
Yeah.
Is that pretty standard for you?
No, like that was like my caddy at the time. He kind of did this thing that we just go around and I'd just guess the yardage. And
Really?
He'd laser, yeah. And then he had players in the past that he noticed when they did that they got better. So they got better with the feel and everything that came with that. So,
Really?
Yeah, that's kind of why he made me do it, basically.
Because we're all, we're playing in the member guest. We're all thinking like, man, we got to start fucking lasering our chips. Like,
Yeah.
This guy's playing chess over here. Like, what are we doing? So that's not common anymore.
No,
okay.
I kind of just I just eyeball it now.
Yeah, that's just feel.
Yeah, it's a little too time consuming just getting the laser out every time.
Right. So Northwestern, we talked about it a little bit when you were on radio, but I don't know that our podcast listeners got to hear about it. Ryan Whitney actually brought it up of the great story of you. You come over. You're obviously an English guy. You get recruited. You go play golf at Northwestern. Your Wikipedia thing says that he left after 1 quarter in January 2014 to pursue a full-time, golf career. What happened? What's
the school was so hard. Like
it's so hard,
the
man.
academic was
Sucks.
really, really
schools
tough.
just suck.
Northwestern especially, that's a hard school.
Yeah.
It's a really hard school.
Yeah, I mean, parents wanted me to go get a degree, something to fall back on if the golf didn't work out. And Pat Goss and David Ingles, the coaches, they're great coaches. They sort of know what they're doing, and it was a good fit in that aspect. But I just got there, and it was just so difficult.
Well, I guess long story short, the golf worked out.
Yeah,
So, I mean,
basically,
at that
yeah.
point, like,
You
who
showed
gives a
your
fuck?
parents.
Yeah,
In your
it
face,
paid
mom
off.
and dad.
Yeah.
You're sitting in
paid
class.
off.
You're just like, what are we doing here?
Yeah,
just thinking about
literally.
I
golf
could
the
be
whole time.
shaping a nice draw right around a fucking tree right now.
Exactly.
Some drawn triangular fucking.
You don't
whatever.
even know.
I can't
You don't
even think.
know. You don't even know.
I can't even think of a scholastic term.
That's how bad it's. That's how bad school
The
is.
academics are so far from your brain, you can't
Couldn't
even
even
come
think
up
of
with a funny example.
Couldn't even think of a word.
It's tough.
You're better off.
Triangular.
Though.
Are you
You're better off.
kidding
We
me?
all. I mean, Riggs went to Harvard. We didn't go to those type of schools, but I
True.
don't remember anything that happened there. I mean,
I remember
don't either.
nothing, Trent.
Yeah.
I was just there to get a piece of paper and get out of there.
it's 4 years of my life that
I
I
took
just
like
don't
3
remember.
years of Spanish. Can't tell you one sentence.
Where did you guys
I
go?
didn't retain anything.
I went to a community college on Long Island.
I went to a small school in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and it's just and then
Zach
Home,
Johnson
home of the
land.
John Deere.
I
Zach
don't-
Johnson land. There we go.
What do you think of the John Deere Classic? I mean,
Be open about it.
It's just always clashed with the European. I think.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, just before the Open. It
Yes,
kinda
I mean
doesn't
you
really
would
make
never
sense
play in
to-
that tournament, right? Just never.
I mean, I'm never gonna say never, but
Yep.
like
Okay.
it
That's
just,
we're taking that as a commitment for next year. Matthew Fitzpatrick is going to be at the John Deere Classic.
John Deere's gonna run with
announce
that.
it, put it on their Twitter account. This is great.
John Deere Social's gonna be all
What
fired up about
again?
that.
What again? That's beautiful. Never say never. That's
Make
what
a
we
tractor named after you.
You could just say it. You would just never, ever, under any circumstances, play in that
I
tournament.
mean, it just doesn't work out. Like the week before the Open, why would I go to America to fly back? It's
a great
just-
point.
Yeah.
It's a great
Yeah,
point.
It's a great tournament. Feel free to give it some thought.
Hey, my friends go all the time. They say
Yeah.
it's pretty good. They say
that
it's
should
good, so.
the John Deere Classic tagline should be "Never say never" for the top 50 players. Never say never. That's great.
So let's talk about 2013. I mean, you finished low amateur at the Open. Then you got a lot of confidence. You're going into a massive tournament like the US Amateur. How much confidence do you have going into that?
Yeah, I would say a lot of the time. I lost in the final of the English Amateur as well that summer, and I was just playing really well. And the US Amateur was a little different. I'm gonna be honest, like I had no idea how big a deal it was. Like really did have no idea. I mean, I remember winning the semi-final, and Noto Bigay was like, you're gonna get an invite to the Masters now, and I was like, oh really? Genuinely didn't have a clue. That was part of it. So, yeah, I think that probably helped a lot in the fact that if I was going now and realized what was on the line, I'd be like, shit, I got to play well, basically.
Yeah, because you're probably like That's great, man.
Yeah.
I get to go Masters? What?
Yeah.
The actual Masters?
Yeah.
Like in Augusta?
No, it was basically like that, and I just remember him saying like afterwards, like I felt like you didn't know that. I was like, not a clue. Genuinely had no idea.
So
That's
what
amazing.
at that time in your career, what's like your team look like? Is it just kind of you and your family, and you're out there winning it?
Yeah, it's just like me and I just had a coach back home, who I'm still with. I've been with since I was probably 15. And yeah, that's it really. Just keeping things simple.
Yeah, I'm always curious about the team. I mean, now that it's almost it's what 7-8 years later. Do you have a bigger team? Do you have like a nutritionist, a strength coach? Like what's your team look like?
Yeah, so right now I've got strength and conditioner, putting coach, long game, and then like management team basically.
Do you have like a mental coach?
No, don't.
None of that.
that.
You just
Not
trust
into
yourself
that.
out there.
Yeah. Well, Billy, my caddy, is pretty old school, and he'll basically give me shit if I'm like going crazy or anything.
He's not gonna
like
like pamper you.
No, not in the slightest.
Everything's be okay, man.
Yeah,
No.
not in the slightest. He will be like, grow the fuck up, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you pick? How'd you pick him? How'd you get paired up with him?
Well, he was with Lee Westwood for a long time,
Right.
And they parted ways at the end of last year, and I was also sort of looking for someone a little more full time, and we kind of knew that they were coming to an end, and he's from like the same area as me. We're both from Yorkshire, so we got on well before, just in person, and then just gave him the offer and he took it. So
you've had a good stretch right now. You finished, I believe it was T12 of the U.S. Open, which we saw you out there coming off, I think, T4 this past weekend. You nearly won over on the European Tour. What's clicking about our game? How good are we feeling about the game?
Well, this is like been my best summer ever. Like normally I just miss a bunch of cuts in the summer. So this is
Why
new
in the
territory.
summer?
I think it's because I play a lot of links golf, and like this year probably only played the Open course was the only links golf that I played this
right.
time. Like I don't know, I've just not got on with it in the past, but like when I was younger, an amateur game was always on links, so it was quite easy to just go with it. But like since turning pro, you never play it, so it's just like bomb and gouge every week, basically.
Right, so you change your game a little bit.
So yeah, your game changes, your ball flight's higher. But yeah, I mean, it's just, I think this year the run I've just been driving it well, and my irons have been pretty good too.
Do you try to change a lot when you do go to a links course, or you kind of like, my game's my game?
I mean, certainly like this year, I've always had the ability to hit it pretty low. And this year sort of kind of took advantage of that a little bit more, basically. Obviously, wind picks up and you can pitch shots a lot shorter into the green, and they'll bounce further. So, that's sort of what we were sort of looking at.
At Port Rush, you were famously running down the 18th.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like the weather was dog shit, and you
Yes.
just wanted to get off the
Correct.
golf course. Was that it?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah. I was like, I got to I couldn't keep the ball on the face or the golf course like for the last 3 holes. Like if you've seen Justin Thomas's dad's video, like
Yeah, I did. Yep.
it was that but worse playing in it. Like I hit it off 17T. I mean, it must have gone 100 yards, and then it just went 90 degrees right. Like the wind was hard. The wind was hard off the left. The rain was hard off the left, and it just went so far right. Then I hit a 7-wood from 180 yards, short of the green by like 30 yards, and then 18 again. Couldn't keep it on the planet, and fortunately, it stayed short of the bunkers. Hit my 5-iron, and I was like, get me out of it. I'm done. Like, just get me out of here. Fortunately, it was the back of the green.
Yeah.
I kind of wanted to play out a turn 2 and just like tap in, but I figured that wasn't great on the 18th hole at the Open.
That would have been. I would have liked that. Just no handshake. You're just. I'm on the plane.
I'm gone.
I'm getting the hell out of here.
So,
That's great.
It's gonna turn into like a meme. You running off the golf course. Like anytime someone's in a sticky or bad situation, just show the video of Fitzpatrick.
I got it saved already.
Quickly running.
I'm out of here. That's great.
Yeah.
So you said 7-wood. What's the no hybrid? No.
No. Well, I mean, it's like probably 5-wood loft, but it's like a 7-wood head.
Okay.
It's great out of rough. So anytime, like, even if it's probably 190 to 230, it's perfect to just hack it out and
gouge it out of there and it kind of runs.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a little go-to shot.
It's good. It's good.
So, you finished, like we said, T4 this past week. Brooks Koepka wins. You're the 27th, I believe, ranked player in the world right now. What is the difference between your game, Brooks Koepka's game, and is that, in your mind, like, are you close enough? Can you get there? Can you be the number 1 ranked player in the world?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like Luke, I know Luke well, and Luke Donald's done it.
Right.
Obviously, that was a couple of years of unbelievable iron play, unbelievable putting. But like my putting's normally been my strong suit, but this year it's let me down quite a bit. Like looking at last week in particular, I probably hit it. I think statistically I hit it as well as Brooks, but I just didn't put as well as him.
Right.
And I think it is going to be tough for me because take the USPGA golf course, I never stood a chance. It's so long.
That's the Kevin Kisner when he just said.
Exactly.
To us, he goes PGA. What is that? Bethpage? I got no chance.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. There's going to be certain golf courses that just don't set up for me, whether that's majors or WGCs, and but then at the same time, I'm delighted they've moved to Memphis because that's the first time I played it last week, and it was great. Although like Tuesday I got there and it was really windy, the course was soaked, like they had a storm, and I was hitting like long irons into pretty much every hole, and I got there and I just thought, I have absolutely no chance this week. Like genuinely no chance. And then the weather was really good, and it dried it out considerably. And then all of a sudden it was like, actually, you got to plan your way around, and that was back up my street again.
So, is there any thought to being like, okay, I'm going to try to just get longer? Because
definitely.
There's always the struggle between, if you're really good now, you try to get longer and you mess up what you currently got, then maybe in 2 years you'll just be back trying to find what you have.
Yeah, that's always the concern. Like I added an inch to my driver at the end of last year. That gave me 7 yards. And then I'm trying a driver next week, which is like 2 inches longer. So that, on paper it should be 14. So,
just
we're
keep
getting there. Yeah.
It's going to look weird, but you're going to hit it 500 yards.
Exactly.
Driver's just twice as big as he's.
I just
trust me, it works.
Yeah, on Trent's laptop, I saw him type in, "How long can a driver go?"
So there's that. But I did a little bit of work with like a biomechanist earlier this year, just before the USPGA, and about forces and speed and stuff like that, and he got me probably 4 miles an hour club head speed, which is equates to 10 yards. So.
Wow. Yeah, because Rory's not much bigger than you are.
No, I would say I'm as tall as Rory.
Yeah.
But
so
he's a unit.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. Yeah, I'm always just curious. So when you add an inch or a couple inches, how much tweaking and practice does that take to like keep the consistency and the accuracy without?
Well, that was the strange thing, because I did some testing in Hong Kong with it. I didn't put it in play, but I was hitting it, and it was 7 yards further every time, but the dispersion was pretty similar. So I was like, this could be something good. And then I just went for it, put it in as soon as the season finished, and it's been great ever since, really. And
is there any, for us, right? Like I can go on the range, I can hit 20 drivers in a row, and like the last 15 will be pretty damn good because I get in a groove.
Yeah.
I go out on the golf course and like nothing changed. It gets worse, right? Like how different is it from taking it in the test facility, like you said, where the dispersion's good, to now you're out on the golf course? Was there any difference, or were you like pretty much just as accurate?
It was pretty much the same, really. I think like my accuracy this year is probably the same percentage as it was last year, just 7 yards further, which is obviously huge. But I do a lot of stuff like on the range, trying to simulate, on course conditions. So if there's
Tell us about that. We
if
got to
there's-
figure that out.
Okay, if there's like, if there's 20 flags out there at different yard, you just try and create a fairway and be like, okay, well, I'm gonna hit one between there, one between there, one between there, and you just keep it. I just keep a running tally basically
Of your numbers, your percentage, whatever.
Yeah, basically.
Because we're just like hit the range.
Yeah.
Just like
Get it up in the air.
Yeah.
correct. Get it in the
Up
air.
in the air.
Actually, just make it sound good.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
the guy to
yeah.
my left, I want him to feel like it sounds.
I want
That guy
that guy-
sounds like he's hitting it.
Yeah, I want
Yeah.
the guy to like be addressing his ball and then lift up his head and be like, "Ooh, that's
Yeah,
great."
you guys.
That
Yeah,
sounded
I
great.
agree
You're
with
flushing it to him. You're like,
Yeah.
meanwhile, you hear like a tree. Like,
that.
whose was that?
Yeah, that's
You know
so
what blows
true.
my mind when we talk to these pro golfers is like, he's like, yeah, they added 4 miles an hour to my swing. Like, how is your swing able to be so consistent and so like you can add 4 miles an hour and know that you're adding that to your swing? Like I can't even compute that in my head. I can't fathom being able to like have so much control over your swing that like you'd be able to tell the difference between adding 4 miles an hour.
Oh, I mean, I can't feel 4 miles an hour like, oh, that was faster. But like the move that he had me making in my swing, like gave me the extra speed
Gotcha,
basically.
okay.
So if I feel like I do X and Y, then it'll give me, or I'd like to think it would give me a little bit extra speed.
Gotcha.
Basically.
Okay.
But it's not a feeling of like, man, I swung out of my shoes there.
Kind of, yeah. That kind of is for me still.
Okay.
Like take Rory Brooks, they're whatever 120 miles an hour. They're probably doing that. Or I mean, Cameron Champ, for example, he looks like he's just tapping it every time,
Right.
and it's going 123 mile an hour. But like for me, if I'm gonna try to get extra, I've still got to feel like I'm swinging pretty fast here. Really.
So if you're playing a course out there that's just like a long course, or like on Tuesday at Memphis where it's windy and wet, do you just feel like you're swinging out of your shoes on every swing?
I mean, not so much there. I still try and keep it straight. Like I'd rather be straight and short than trying to go long and crooked, basically.
Smart.
But it depends on the courses. There's been a couple I've played this year. Memorial was one. There's a few holes that are a little wider, and I could just sort of try this move basically and get a little bit more out of it.
I like it's very relatable to be like, yeah, I got like a new move.
Yeah.
it's
You know,
awesome.
because like we do that every time we play. It's like, no, I watched this
I'm
YouTube
back
video,
now, I'm
boy.
back.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm back.
My good friend from home, like, I mean, I don't think he'll listen to this, but I'll tell him that I'll give him a shout out. But there's a video, you can find it on the internet, and it's just of him duffing a chip, basically. Like, but it kind of went all over the golf world.
Really?
A little bit. Yeah. And so he's got a little bit of the yips. But
That's
basically,
Frankie's
every
Wants to
week.
grab a drink.
But
You guys need to stay away from each other.
Chippers Anonymous.
Every single week, he's like, "I'm back. Like, I've got it. I've figured it out. I'm back." I'm like, I'll take you down next weekend." And I'm like, "You're not." He's like, No. I had a lesson. I'm back. Like, this is what I'm doing. I was like, no.
That is such perfect phrasing. Like I text my brother that all the time.
Yeah.
It's like, how's your game? I'm like, dude, I went to the range. I'm back.
I'm
man.
back. Yeah. It's true.
I know that 91 that I posted last weekend. You saw that at my gym, but I'm back. Dude. I got this new thing. So what's you're obviously a big European Tour guy. What's the biggest differences between the European Tour and the PGA Tour?
There's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot. We don't get a car every week, which is a nice bonus on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
But I would say the places we go in Europe, they're probably a little bit more exciting.
Yeah.
There's, I've played a few tournaments. You just kind of in the middle and not nowhere, but there's nothing really to do.
Do you enjoy that, or is it?
I don't mind it personally. I know a lot of the European guys don't like that because they like to go out and just have a look around. But I genuinely couldn't care less because it's like I'm not there to be a tourist. I'm there to play golf. Yeah. So.
Right. So even like if you do go to an exciting place, you're like, I'm not necessarily going out and exploring. I'm like going to the golf course. And
No,
going back to my
exactly. Yeah.
hotel.
There's a handful of places where I'll actually have a look around and I'll have a look around Hong Kong.
Right.
Switzerland is always like a nice town.
Nice
where
little plug
else?
there for your
absolutely.
the win.
Yeah. Where else do we go? This is cool.
When you play like a really cool place like Switzerland, I mean, is that just overall a tournament then, since it's kind of beautiful and a really cool place, that you'll put extra weight on when you're making your schedule, or is it just pure like money, dollars?
No.
Logistics?
I mean, it's like for me, picking tournaments is there's a number of reasons. The main reason I tried to do it is like what suits me best. You know, what flows the best in terms of 2 weeks on, 1 off, or 3 weeks on, 2 off, whatever it may be. I'm not the person that wants to play like 7 in a row and just grind it out, because that's just miserable. But like, you know, obviously that place suits me very well. Where else suits me very well? Like, I love Bay Hill, obviously.
Do you have kind of a formula, like a 2 weeks on, 1 week off, or 3 out of 4?
No, I mean, I don't like playing 4 in a row.
Okay.
Like, unfortunately, at the end of the year, you kind of have to sometime, or in previous years, I've had to, just because, like, there's nothing else to play in, so you may as well play. But I'd rather, in an ideal world, it'd be like 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 2 off, 2 on, 2 off.
Gotcha. You like to get in a little groove for a couple weeks.
Yeah, basically.
Who's your best buddy out on the pro circuit?
Probably, I'm very good friends with Martin Keimer.
Okay.
Yeah, Martin Keimer.
Really?
He's a good guy, yeah.
Yeah, he's a guy that I actually was going to use as an example of kind of tweaking his swing, because he wanted to find the draw and win at Augusta, and then next thing you know, he's trying to find what he had back.
Yeah. He's I think he's playing a lot better. I spoke to him, a little bit about what he did and everything, but I mean, you just forget how, like, he won the Players, the US Open, and the USPGA.
Right.
Those are 3 of the biggest you can basically win. So
and he won the US Open by 9 shots or something
exactly.
Like
so, he's someone that I always think is great to speak to for advice on everything, basically.
So he comes off, like this German machine when he plays golf.
Well, he is.
He is. Is he like sneaky funny or sarcastic, or is he pretty like straightforward, or what do you know about him that we don't know?
That'd be unfair for me to tell you.
We tried. We tried.
Yeah.
I'll absolutely tell you.
Give us his worst fucking story.
No, he's a really, really nice guy, like very genuine, very down to earth. For someone who's obviously done so much, the money's not changed him one bit.
That's awesome.
Don't get me wrong, I didn't know him from growing up, but when I started hanging out with him a little bit more, to be able to do that with 2-time major winner and actually pick his brain and talk to him about stuff, it's like, for me, it's pretty cool, because I've watched him growing up. I watched him win the USPGA. Played the US Open, he won, and it's pretty cool.
So you played your first Ryder Cup 2016.
Yeah.
A little bit of an eye roll from you there. Obviously, you would have liked things to have gone better. I mean, going into that, were you just not feeling your game?
No, I qualified for the team outright. I wasn't picked.
Which is hard to do.
Absolutely. I mean, I missed out on qualifying last time. So, but I was just disappointed. Like everyone knows this, so it's not like a new thing. But I was just disappointed I didn't play more.
Right.
I qualified outright. I was playing pretty solid. I had a couple of good finishes, I think, just only a few weeks prior. I didn't play till Saturday morning.
That's what was shocking to me, and I was gonna ask, like,
I played, and it was foursomes. It's like I basically hit 20 shots.
Right. So it seems crazy to me that you wouldn't want to get somebody, your first time and all that, day one, get them out there.
Yeah, I think that's me personally. I know going forward, obviously it might not always be the case in my next one or whenever it is, but I've got to play. You got to play a 4-ball match. You got to play your own ball. Just play it out. See how it feels and everything like that. Because I was obviously foursomes. It's alternate shot, and I just never got into any rhythm whatsoever.
Right.
I didn't know what was what, basically. And you can play practice rounds and stuff, but it's a different animal once you're out there.
Yeah, especially when it's something that's that big. And I know even talking about it, obviously, you're trying to be Mr. Positive, and it's it's your European squad and nobody. But naturally, anybody who's competitive would want to be like, no, I fucking want to be out there.
No doubt about that.
Give me the ball.
Yeah. You can. The other guys on the team that I know, that played as much as me, they'll tell you the same thing. It was disappointing. We all had good gears, all played really well, playing well leading up to it, and just never really.
And I mean, having won the U.S. Amateur, like clearly you can play match play.
Yeah. No, I mean, the singles game I played against Zach, I mean, he just hold the world. Like
he made everything,
every single putt, and then Damon was just doing.
What are you shaking your head at?
Nothing.
What are you shaking your head at, Trent?
Nothing. I'm just listening.
That's Trent's.
I'm listening to.
That's Trent's. Yeah,
I love Zach, and that's one. Zach is like the nicest guy.
Yep.
He afterwards he was like came to my friends and he was like, "Your friends, he's a great guy. Like he'll do well in the game and stuff like that." And that was that was nice for me to hear, even though he just pumped me.
I was gonna say easy to say.
What
was it 4 and 3?
So,
love that guy. I'll play against him anytime.
Gotta bring him around more
basically.
often.
Now look at it. It was probably that, wasn't it?
That's great. How important is it for you to get on that team next year?
Yeah, it's definitely a goal. My schedule will probably revolve around trying to make it points early doors to sort of make on. I mean, I don't think the point starts literally soon. I want to say probably 4 or 5 weeks, I would guess.
And you're going to pay, you pay a lot of attention to that? Like, where am I in the Ryder Cup?
Yeah, like that was the issue with the first year as well. Making the team, like I was getting pretty worked up about like making the team.
Right.
Which is only natural, I've watched it growing up and wanted to be part of it. And I was definitely sort of stressing about it when I didn't need to. And then it's kind of happened, did it, and I was like, I don't need to worry about that. Just
what am I doing?
If I play well, if I play well, like I should make the team. But
yeah, I remember when Bubba Watson, when he lost in 2010 to your boy Martin Keimer at Whistling, and he lost in a playoff. Everyone's like, "Are you devastated?" And he's like, "I just found out I qualified for the Ryder Cup team." He was like, "I'm jacked up."
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, it's to be part of it and everything that comes with it is awesome to be part of that team.
How tight, are you still with a lot of those guys? I mean, did that kind of catapult you into this friendship group with the European, team, or were you already there?
No, I'll probably say a little bit. Yeah, definitely. Probably from that, I've become good friends with Rory, become good friends with Sergio. I mean, a lot of the guys on the team as well, I kind of knew a little bit before, but it's just that it's probably more feeling comfortable with them.
You pick up a couple phone numbers you didn't have before.
Yeah, that's true.
Little group text.
Yeah,
going
group
around?
text. The group text died out though, pretty fast.
I'm
Afterwards.
sure.
Yeah, it was like Henrik Stenson left,
great.
Justin Rose left, Rory McIlroy left. Like,
man, that's a sad day.
And I was just there like, no,
come back.
Yeah.
I miss my friends.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's
So,
tough. I mean, we're rooting for the U.S., but that's sad. That's just a sad thing to hear. I can't remember if we asked you this on the radio or not, so we'll ask it again. How far is your stock 7-iron go?
177.
How far, if you're like, what yardage are you comfortable if you're in the middle of the fairway on a par 5 to carry? How far are you comfortable going for it? How far out?
Oh, probably to like 250.
That's still pretty good.
Yeah.
No,
I'll
that's
take
good.
that.
Yeah,
Was that just you could just launch your 3-wood? You're comfortable carrying it 250?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to rip it.
Yeah.
I think, but like it's different because I can add 10, 15, 20 yards to my irons. I'd say like I can really like compress it basically.
See,
so.
Kepka said that too. What is that? How come you guys?
I don't
can
know.
Just hit him
I have
flat?
like a lot of like my club face is really really strong. So, I mean, I hit a pitching wedge at the Open through the air, which normally goes 140. I hit that 182 yards.
What?
Like I just I mean I was like
just picked up 42 yards.
Yeah, I was like driving it off my back foot and like trapped the shit out of it.
Yeah.
And it had like no spin and it just flew and it just went so far.
Like exactly.
I mean, it
where-
went long of the green. It was a shit shot, but like,
You're like, man, you see how far?
yeah, literally, yeah.
That's great.
So,
And so you're 24 years old. you won the U.S. Amateur, you're playing on the Ryder Cup and stuff. Like when did you know you're going to be a professional golfer? I always wonder that with these professional athletes. Like what was your upbringing like? Like because we read like this book called Tiger Woods. It's got his face all written on the front of it and the whole thing. And in his upbringing, like it was insane. Like you knew that he was going to be a machine, right? Like his parents like forced him to be a golfer essentially. Like what was your like upbringing like in the golf world? And then like when did you know like holy shit, I'm gonna be something special?
I mean, growing up, I always wanted to play football, like soccer as well.
Yeah, you can say football. It's fine.
Football's it's way better when you guys call
why
it
the
football.
fuck is it not called football
It's
in
the
America?
whole
It's
thing.
literally football.
I'm sure he's had this laugh with his mates a million times.
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, growing up, I like golf, I like football, and then I won the British Boys, which is like the US Junior Am, in 2012. And I was like, okay, that's like a good result. And then I signed to go to college. So I was like planning doing 4 years, getting a degree, all that, and playing golf with it and just seeing what happened during the time there. And then 2013 came around and all of a sudden I was playing so shit. Like my dad beat me gross. Bearing in mind I was like +4 at this time and my dad beat me in like a club comp at my club, and he never lets me live it down.
I was going to say, I bet he was busting your balls.
Even now. Yep. So I lost to my dad. Like that was like lowest of low. And then literally, a family friend took me up to Open qualifying, and he was like, I was like, I don't even know why I'm going. Like genuinely, I was like, I don't know why I'm going. Like I'm playing really shit. And then qualified for the Open, won the silver medal, lost in the final the English Am, won the US Am. I was like, shit, that's like all these doors open for PGA Tour events, Bay Hill, Harbour Town, Masters.
Nuts.
And then obviously I left college, went back, and my coach at the time, Pete Cowan and Mike Walker, they were like, my dad said, what do you think? Do you think he's ready, or is he good enough? And they both said yeah. So that was a big boost for me. I think it was also a big boost for my parents. Like, okay, well maybe we'll let him kind of do it. So, and then just turned pro at the middle of 2014. Got my card, and it was probably only like, in all seriousness, it was probably after winning the US Amateur. That's when I was probably like, actually,
like this is gonna be
this could be good. Yeah. That genuinely. So it wasn't like I wasn't 10 and being like, yeah.
But even before then, like, were you like when did you first play golf? Like, were you playing like how many days?
I was playing young, yeah. So I mean, I joined my club when I was 9, and I was playing a lot. I like stopped playing football when I was 15. Yeah.
Because golf, it was golf.
Because then it was golf. So like there was more emphasis and focus on it, obviously. But like I was just sort of, ticking it over. It wasn't like the be all and end all. I wouldn't say at that point.
Gotcha.
It was probably like 17, 18 when I was like, okay, really put a focus on it. And then 2013 happened, and I was like, okay, this could be good. Yeah.
How big is the difference between losing to your old man and then qualifying for the Open, winning the silver medal? How much of that is just confidence?
Yeah, I don't really know. I mean,
like what changed?
It just all happened. Yeah, I think that's the thing. Like I honestly couldn't tell you what changed, because it just happened. Like, I mean, I think I qualified for the Open at 1 under or 2 under, so it wasn't like a world class score, because I went to qualifying thinking I'm gonna have to shoot 7, 8 under around this golf course because there's other pros. I mean, Colin Montgomery was playing, and there's a couple other well-known pros. I mean, there was a kid that was 5 under with 5 to play, and that was leading, and he finished level par, and that let me in. So,
wow.
Yeah. So
you're not like you're following
cool.
that lead, another bogey. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
Let's go.
There was me and this guy. There was a guy in at 2 under, and there was 2 guys in at 1 under. Me and another guy in at 1 under, and we could see this guy coming down 18, and like people were like, he's just bogeyed 17, and we're kind of like looking at each other like, oh my god, like we could actually do it. And then he bogeyed 18. He like hooked it into the rough. So
You're like inside. You're like your fist pumping
I'm
inside.
like, yeah,
Let's
I
go.
didn't know what to. Yeah, exactly. So,
It's great.
but yeah, I honestly couldn't tell you what changed. Like all of a sudden, it was just like I was playing really steady and just making putts.
I will say I've had front nines where I'll shoot like 50 and the back nine I'll shoot like in the high 30s, and it feels like I'm making the exact same golf swing. the whole
Yeah,
time. Like,
absolutely.
literally nothing changed.
Well, that's the thing.
Except the ball just went in very different places.
Yeah, Friday's round last week, I shot 6 under, and I was like, I didn't even feel like I played that. You just don't feel like you play that well. It's like I've hit a bunch of fairways, I've hit a bunch of greens, and I just made a load of putts, and then all of a sudden that adds up to 6 under, and you're like, great.
Oh, cool. Great. Cool.
Dude, we should do that every time.
Yeah, why isn't this working all the time?
Yeah.
What part of your game are you most confident in?
I'd say driving this year. Yeah.
I like that.
That's probably changed, right? Because you said the putting was.
Yeah, the putting's been shit this year.
This year.
basically. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that.
Yeah.
Has a member of the gallery ever gotten under your skin?
No, they haven't. But the Ryder Cup, I had. I was eating a sandwich and someone shouted, "Did your mum cut the crust off those?"
That's awesome.
And then I also had like.
I think that guy might have gotten under your skin.
Yeah.
You had that ready to go. You had that
And
ready
then
to go.
also
That was 3 years ago, man.
and then also I
Let it
had. Did your mum cut your hair? Like, I had that one as well.
Okay. A lot of mom jokes.
mom jokes.
Yeah, I know.
They're like clean mom jokes, which are good. They're
Yeah,
That,
good
then
for
that's it. But I mean, compared to what everyone else had on that team that week,
Yeah.
it was pretty.
Are you going to be
pretty
used to
quiet.
when now, like, Barstool fans are going to be screaming at you every single tournament you go into because you're going to be, like, a huge Barstool?
I get that a lot. I get. You can beat Frankie up. Don't worry.
There we go. I like that. What a world we're living
Don't
in.
worry.
You're walking
So-
up
It
like,
gives him a
that's
little
funny.
confidence.
Yeah.
walking around.
Although I did hear one the other day. It was like this guy obviously didn't really have the balls to say it but he was like under his breath kind of. He was like, "Oh, you're gonna hit on this." I just got onto the tee, and I was like pacing off the yardage, and he was kind of out of earshot, but I heard, and he was like, "You're gonna hit in the water," and then like 2 seconds later, he just went, "No, I'm just kidding. He's like, "Hit the green, buddy." I was like, "Okay."
Hit the green. Just total backtrack.
Yeah,
The quickest
yeah.
backtrack of all time.
How often do you play with your buddies, like, from home and stuff? Do you ever go out and just, like, rip it on the golf course, drink beers, play music?
not enough really. Like,
Yeah.
like I keep wanting to go on a trip and stuff like that, and them to come over here, go play somewhere or whatever. But it's like they've got real jobs.
Busy, yeah.
They've got work and
Right.
stuff to do.
Right.
My job isn't really a job at the end of the day, so it's like.
Very
You're like,
true.
hey guys, no, just come for these 2 weeks over to the
Yeah,
Hamptons
just
and
come
we'll
free.
play whatever
And they're
course
like,
you want.
No.
Like, what are
we
you
can't
talking
do
about,
that."
man? What
Yeah.
fantasy world are you
Yeah.
living in? Do you play? Like, are you capable of playing like just pure fun golf?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Like it's good. I mean, I definitely play worse. Like I play shit.
But you don't care.
I don't care now. No.
See, that's good. So-
I can. As long as I just make sure I'm just playing well enough to beat everyone. That's fine.
Keep them like
wanna-
dangling
Yeah,
in front
yeah,
of them
yeah,
a little
I
bit.
want to play around with Matthew Fitzpatrick.
Big time.
Good time.
We will. I got a good feeling we can get out.
Yeah.
We're gonna pressure him into it.
It's fine.
What's the most important golf shot you've ever hit?
I mean, putts are boring, but the putt at DP World in 2016, that was like
That's the biggest tournament
6
you've
feet.
won.
Yeah, it was like 6 feet down or 5 feet down the hill. It's getting bigger every year. But yeah, it's like 4 or 5 feet down the hill.
We'll have our graphics guys. They'll make it like a 20-foot.
Yeah, that's right. If you could, that'd be good.
That
Yeah,
won't
yeah.
be a problem. What's the worst golf shot you've ever hit?
The
In competition.
worst golf shot I've ever hit. I can't really.
Any shanks in competition?
No, I mean I have had a shank. Yeah. That was in Holland, but that was 2015. But
we don't talk about 2015.
I can't think of anything that sort of stands out.
What's the most fun you've ever had?
Oh
on a
no,
golf
no,
course?
I've got a good one actually.
Okay.
I mean, it's not really good, but the Open Sunday first tee shot of the Open, I just nailed it so far out of bounds.
Just not even
Yeah,
close.
just like I was just like, where the freak has that come from? Like literally no idea where it came from, and it just like came off the club face and just went straight right.
Did the gallery go, ooh?
Yeah, it was. I was like, oh shit, they've done that.
That's when you know.
Especially
Yeah,
'cause
when you
You hear a lady like shrieking hard in the background. Like, listen, miss, like I just hit a bad shot.
It's just golf, lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially because you probably hit that shot like 5 times on the range right before you came over. And you're just where'd that come from? So we do from the gallery. We got just a couple questions that some fans had submitted. Dan asked, basically, what would you how would you shoot a better score using clubs from 100 years ago with today's golf ball, or a ball from 100 years ago with today's clubs?
Okay, I'm gonna have to think about that one. So a ball from today, but with
clubs from 100 years
100
ago,
years ago.
or a ball from 100 years ago with your current clubs.
what score am I gonna shoot?
Yeah, which one would you play better?
Clubs today and ball from 100 years ago.
Oh man, I was completely opposite.
Really?
Yeah. Doesn't the
My
ball make
brain's in a
such a
pretzel.
difference?
The ball does make a difference, but I feel like at least the new ball or the old ball, you're gonna get some like spin at least. The new ball with the old clubs, I don't feel like you're gonna be able to spin it.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because then you have the control.
Yeah, I would
You
say
can
so.
kind of figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting. I would have gone the other way too, but now
Yeah.
he's totally
Well, he's just right.
reversed.
He's just right. He just had the right answer.
Listener Frankie says, nice name. Is it an asshole move to use a giant golf umbrella as your everyday umbrella? Walking around the street.
No, absolutely not. I love that.
That's what he does.
I do that too.
Yeah,
That's
you
what
got to. Yeah.
I do it in New York. I just dominate the streets in New York
Absolutely,
with that
you got
thing. Like
to,
everybody
yeah.
has to duck in horror as I
Yeah.
come just plowing through the middle.
As long as you're dry, it don't matter.
And then last one, do you know off the top of your head, or did anything stick out as the biggest spread you've had in 2 rounds of golf? Like JB Holmes, I think, went 69-87
Yeah.
at the Open.
This year, well, pretty much every week so far this year, my Thursday rounds have been really bad. But the Masters, first round shot 78, second round shot 65. So
Oh my god.
yeah, so that was a good one.
Oh, so like, I mean,
67, sorry.
okay. So I mean, you probably don't know, but what changed? What was the difference? Nothing.
No, there was a huge difference. I found fairways on the second day. The first day I was hitting trees everywhere. Like I've played the golf course so many times and never hit so many trees.
Just trees everywhere.
Just literally off tees and stuff like that. Just 100 yards in front of me and just nailed the trees. I'm like, shit.
So then all your second shots, you were just trying to hit
Just trying to
punches
get up
around
by the
trees?
green. Yeah. Get it up by the green. Try and make up and down. Yeah.
Where's that course rank for you?
I'd probably say it's 1 or 2 that I play. I love it. It's amazing. Everything about it is awesome.
Here's a question I got for you. Someone says you're on 17 at TPC Sawgrass, and if you don't hit the green, you can never play golf again. Are you confident enough that you're gonna hit that green?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're taking that.
Wait. I mean, are we talking dead still? No wind.
Let's call it 10 mile an hour left to right wind.
And you're standing on that tee box,
That's
and
a
they're
tough
like,
win.
Yeah, that
He
is
goes
a tough
fine.
win. He
You
knows.
don't have a college degree,
He
remember?
knows. Yeah.
You don't have a degree. You can't
Good
play
point,
golf.
good
I'm
point,
just
good
saying.
point.
You gotta take that into
You're
account.
nothing
I'm
to
gonna
fall
have to take
back
a chance. I'm gonna have to take a chance.
Yeah.
No,
But you're
I think I'd
confident
do
enough
it,
in
yeah.
that?
Yeah.
No shank,
Yeah.
no pulling.
No.
Love it.
Someone told me they once hit a 5-iron into that. Green.
Really?
Yeah. So it was pumping into and hit 5.
I don't know. That feels like kind of when you're like, I had to make it DP World Challenge. I had to make like a 20.
Yeah. I can
Right,
buy
yep.
that.
That's what
I
that
can buy
story
that.
is.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what can we? The last one for real this time. What can we expect from you for the rest of the year?
Hopefully a win. Yeah, hopefully a win. Like I feel
You're knocking.
I feel like my game's been good. Like I say, throughout the summer. There's just a few. I think if I can get the putter going towards the end of the year, and the nice thing is I'm playing every course. I'm pretty much playing. I've played a lot of times already in the past few years. So if I can just get the putter going, keep my long game the same, and I'll be in with a shout with a few wins maybe.
All right. Well, Matt Fitzpatrick, we
Yeah,
very
sure.
much appreciate it. This was a ton
Thanks,
of fun.
guys.
The last thing I got to say is you're a fun golf guy. You said we got to play golf together.
Absolutely.
We
Yeah.
gotta
That's
get out and
fine.
play
That's
around.
fine. I'm down for that.
Let's do it.
All right, pal. Thanks for coming on. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks, guys.